Morning. I just want to read from Mark 10, verses 13 to 16. People were bringing little children to Jesus for him to place his hands on them. But the disciples rebuked them. When Jesus saw this, he was indignant. He said to them, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these. Truly I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it." And he took the children in his arms, placed his hands on them, and blessed them. Now, when we read this, it seems quite shocking. It seems quite odd that Jesus, God, cares so much for little children. If you imagine who God is, it might be a bit surprising that he cares for even the littlest people on the planet. But as we can see, he really does. So when the people bring their children to him, Jesus responds. He responds with the disciples, and he gets angry. He gets angry with them. He even rebukes them. He tells them off. That is crazy, because maybe we are in the position where we are like the disciples, where we are stopping people from getting to Jesus. So we're not supposed to be like that. But how else does Jesus respond? Well, beautifully, Jesus responds by inviting the children to come to him, and then he blesses them. He says in verse 14, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these." Now, verse 15 is a great encouragement to us. "Truly, I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it." This should be an encouragement, but it also might be a rebuke. What does it show us? Well, it shows us firstly that Jesus really does care about little children, so that's good news. It also shows us that Jesus really loves us, and that's really good news. But Jesus is telling us we need to be childlike in our attitude towards him. It means that we are meant to be entirely dependent on him, just like children are with their parents. I don't know if you ever seen the reunions of children and their military fathers or parents. You might have seen them, and they always bring a tear to my eye. But this is what we are supposed to be like. The child hasn't seen their dad or mum in months, and they just run at their mum and dad. They are so excited to see them. And that's what we are supposed to be like. We are meant to be childlike in attitude towards Jesus. Now, I'm not saying we are meant to be really childish. We're not meant to take Christianity lightly, but it means we're meant to be wholly dependent on Jesus. It means we are meant to run to Jesus when we are afraid or scared. It means we are meant to bring all of our pain, all of our anguish, all of our joy, all of our happiness to Jesus. It means whatever problems or whatever happiness we are going through, we're meant to bring it to Jesus. We are to completely rely on him if we are Christians. Sometimes, though, we aren't like that. Sometimes we are like the disciples in the story, and we put barriers up. We stop people from coming to Jesus in the way we act. Maybe we tell people they have to change before they accept grace. But Jesus isn't like that. Jesus offers grace. He offers forgiveness. And we are to be childlike in our attitude towards him. So this week and today, it is really, really important that we as a church are not like the disciples in this instant, but we are like the little children, bringing everything to our Father in heaven, bringing everything to the God that we love, running to Jesus at every opportunity we have, because we know sometimes we do the opposite. Sometimes we're afraid that Jesus won't accept us for who we are. But don't worry. Jesus really does care, and he really does love. He really does want us to bring all of our tears and our joy to him. Is Jesus part of your life today? I hope he is. Let us be like little children this week. Let us bring everything to our God in prayer.